So I made a short video, a reel, TikTok, whatever you want to call them, about redoing a bumper with heat like this. And I've been doing it forever, it works fine, but one of the comments naturally said it don't work. So what's Dex gonna do? Gonna figure it out. So believe it or not, this is actually my daily driver. And if you look, there's a dent in every body panel, every bumper, every door. The back bumper's got a huge hole in it. Don't really change the story, but a guy was literally just scrapping the Jeep because it was so beat up. And I put a battery on it and just drove it. That's all I ever do. It's a good Jeep. So I'm gonna take these bumpers off and I'm gonna go get some more. We'll show you that part. And I could care less about this vehicle, but this test is gonna take time and car washes, which it needs car wash. I think we're getting automatic one. But wash, wind, sunlight, air, you know, whatever all the variables are. So I'm gonna do 2 bumpers, and I think I got another idea I'll show you later on, but let me show you what we got. So I went out and pretty much bought everything I could find, and like I said, this is my tried and true. In my mind, it's probably the easiest, quickest, cheapest, and actually last. Like, I'll go ahead and be honest, I don't have any hopes of this stuff lasting, because this is actually what I use if I don't take the time to do that. It's called Coverall Superior Products. No, O'Reilly sells it, and I just put it in a squirt bottle, rub it on. They also sell the same thing in aerosol, so I figure these two will pretty much be the same thing. And then everybody had a lot to say about Meguiar's Back to Black, so I really turning it back to black, but for trim and plastic. We'll be trying them. I guess that's pronounced Stoner. Pretty sure I've heard good about them. So same thing, we'll read all the directions. Found this on clearance at Walmart, so probably, yep. Oh, this was Mother's and this is Meguiar's. So what I'm gonna do is get bumper, and I'm actually gonna get some other pieces of plastic, and I'm gonna tape them off and do all the individual ones. And then just months of testing, I'll get a video here and there, see which one lasts the longer, and yeah. So let's go get a bumper. If you didn't know, I got like a field of Jeeps to pick from, so that makes this test really easy. I think this is the bumper I'm gonna go with. It's kind of a worst case scenario. You can see right over here, I just kind of got some MAP gas out and tried it. But I'm gonna get several different panels of different, I would say, levels of fade. Like, I almost picked that one, but it's not too bad. And then like, that's like the nicest bumper out there I've ever seen on a used Jeep. So I'm gonna leave it, and then let me find another one. But there's some that I feel like are aftermarket, and I just don't think there's any hope for them. I could be wrong, but once they get like this gray, chalky, like real dry, I personally don't think that's original. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna get a piece of that off there. I think I'm actually just gonna cut it since it's already ruined anyway. We'll see which of the products I bought would do best on that if that's what you had. And then as far as front bumpers go, everybody seems to wreck in the front, so I'm just gonna try to find one. Maybe there's one out here. There's one. Just something, like I said, the side panels will probably be the better test. I may duct tape them to the roof of the Jeep. Yeah, that might do the job right there. It's not bad, but it ain't perfect. So if you see I'm running out of daylight, I'm gonna get these off quick as possible, and then we'll go from there. All right, so I got this is the front bumper. It's actually pretty good shape, but it's got fog lights. That'll be put in that Jeep there. And this is the original, or this is the bumper I was showing you. I actually broke it, so luckily it's going on that Jeep. And then I found a front bumper laying there, it's junk, for a ZJ, just in case somebody was wondering about year models. But I got to thinking, the stuff is called Back to Black, or they're made for black products. So I got an extra one of these, try it, and got a side panel. It's pretty good shape, needs cleaned up. And I got another side panel that's not as good. And then I got a piece of that bumper that I feel like aftermarket. I could be wrong. Don't know, maybe it's just sun faded. No idea, but. So one thing I did forget is the heat gun. You can do the same thing with a heat gun as you can with open flames. It's very slow, but I usually end up using it in like cracks and crevices where the big fire won't get. But I'm gonna get all this stuff cleaned up so there's no dirt and debris. And I'm only gonna show you doing it to probably 2 or 3 things. Then I'm gonna get them all done. So I'm gonna put full tape in between them, and then I'll probably write under the tape which one's pointed to what so I don't forget. And then I'm just gonna apply them like they tell you to and see which one holds up the best. So right now I'm gonna get all this stuff cleaned up. It's obviously gotta dry, and then we'll go from there. Not 100% relevant to this video, but I was already doing it in the first place and the camera was sitting there. But this coverall stuff that I've showed you before, this is just what I do with it. I'm fixing to like wash this Jeep, and I'll just spray it on there and let it sit, and that way you can kind of wash the excess off. I'll show you when I get it done. Alright, I got everything cleaned up. Went ahead and removed the fog lights, but those are the bumpers. And then here's like our test panels. Got everything in alphabetical order. I think I'm gonna do heat and heat gun in the middle, or fire and heat gun. And then I'm gonna go through and read all the instructions, make sure I'm doing it the thorough suggested way, and figure out kind of how I'm gonna separate them, and we'll go from there. Alright, so I read all the instructions. Basically all of them the same thing. Apply to a microfiber and dab it on. I don't see really any need. I think you can just apply it. The only one is, I did read, this only says for tires, but I've used this for interiors and it does just fine. But the real stuff there says it's for interior, all that stuff, and it's the only one that says do not wipe off. Don't know. And all of them, and most of them do say you may have to do multiple coats to get it to actually work. So the heat is going to be kind of tricky. So you see this, it's going to melt my table. So I'm going to do it on the end here with the fire, and then on the end here with my heat gun, and then I'll tape it off with this full tape here, and I'll do different ones, and then write all the blah blah blah, and then time. I'm going to zoom the camera in so you can actually see it getting done with the fire. This is obviously the fastest way, like by far. Like you can do a whole vehicle in a little bit of no time. But depending on where you live, you may not can have fire. I don't know. So just a soft flame. It actually takes more than you think too. See how it kind of just starts glazing over? It's very scary, I admit. When you get around the gas cap, that's where it gets scary on the bumper back there. That's pretty good. Try to get it on the top right here. So yeah, I believe that's going to be close enough right there. Just realized y'all can't see me at all. So now the heat gun, it just takes a lot longer, but basically does the same job. A lot longer. See it just kind of glossing up. So now you can tell that one looks about the same as the actual fire one. So now I'm going to figure out where I can tape off and do the other ones, and I'll show applying them. Alright, so I'm just going to be applying them straight to the material. So I'm going to try to put like a rag to cover up so I don't get on the other one. And I don't want to get a microfiber dirty every time, so I just got these. I don't feel like there being any much difference in that. All of them say Shaquille, so got to make that happen. Mother's Back to Black Trim and Plastic Restore. 100 wash durability. Kind of smells good, it kind of smells bad. Allow 24 hours to dry. So that looks pretty saturated. Alright, moving on. Alright, so this stuff you gotta kind of rub in, so I don't know how much. Same, Mother's Back to Black. This stuff you gotta rub in, so we'll start with a little amount. I would have to assume this works better if you gotta be more labor intensive with it, but it's kind of like smearing on grease. I guess you just let it soak and wipe off the excess later on. Allow a few minutes to penetrate and wipe off. So. Alright, this is the coverall. Like I said, other than O'Reilly's, I don't know where you get this stuff, but I've been using it for years. Seems to be pretty good in my opinion. It's spraying way too much, so I'll rub it in. If it wasn't such a small area, well, I showed you earlier, you can just spray everything and then just kind of wash it off with water. So that's got that one covered. Like I said, this stuff don't even recommend. All it says is tire dressing, but I've used it interiors. It works pretty good. Yeah, it seems like this is a more softer spray than this stuff was. This stuff a little faster, but kind of a softer spray in my opinion. Do not wipe it off. I'm gonna turn this rag over in case somebody says it's soaking in. I believe this is a pretty good name brand, Stoner or however you pronounce it, so we'll see. Spray's on pretty heavy, so let's get a rag. Kind of dab it in, make it kind of even. So that's that. Some actually come through right there, but I believe it'll be alright. This is the clearance aisle, so Turtle Wax Trim Restore. One step. So it goes on perfectly clear. The one plus side's about anything but the fire is the fire and heat don't get down in like little grooves like that right there, so stuff like this or aerosol definitely would probably be better for that. This would be kind of hard because it's so thick. To be honest, I kind of like the Turtle Wax so far. Maybe it was just time to clearance it out. Alright, so this is the one everybody recommended on my short video. Give it a try. It come out with a larger area than others, but this is kind of a wreck, so. The trim shine seems like it's already given up or there's not enough. And this back to black. It's like, I'll zoom the camera in, but maybe it's the excess evaporate. Maybe I'm just wrong. So this stuff is a heavy paste. Like I said, I feel like the thicker stuff probably works better, but if you're in a hurry, aerosol makes a huge difference. Alright, so I'm going to let them soak for an extended period of time and come back and wipe the excess off. This honestly, I guess I need to apply more. I'm going to apply a little more of this stuff right here. I don't know if I just didn't get enough or if it's evaporating. Seemed like it was the one that kind of wiped off. And this same back to black stuff, I'm going to put more up here and leave down here alone. Alright, so I'm going to let them sit and see what happens. Alright, so I went ahead and did the other door panel. It was in a little better shape, but just kind of show you. That's the heat, that's better black. It's okay. That was the paste there. I think I even reapplied. Don't remember what that is. Looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. I don't know what all that white stuff is. Don't remember, not bad. And then these, you've got to wipe that paste off. So, kind of, it may work better, but in the long run, quicker seems to be in my opinion, a better option. So now I've got a piece of bumper that was a little chalked over, so I'm gonna work on it. I didn't get the top part, which is like overly chalked, but this is still pretty bad. Come on, fire. I don't even know if this is gonna work. Yep. I think it's actually working just fine. Well, no. Seems like it only wants to like harshly burn it in. I don't really know what to say about that. It's like it's better, but it actually burnt the bumper. Let's see what electric heat does. This is slower, but it may be controllable. About the same. It's making it better, but I feel like the bumper's too long gone. I know it's gonna be hard for y'all to see, but the bumper's like pitting up. Looks like fish-eyed paint, I guess you'd say that. Let's see what the chemicals do. Just to save a little time, I'm just gonna wipe them on, and if anything comes up, I'll let you know. That don't seem to be doing anything. Literally. That's wild. Towards the bottom that's not sun faded, it actually seems like it's working. I'm just gonna leave that like it is. This stuff. Rub that in. Yeah, that's amazing. On the top side, it literally just kind of just soaks it in and doesn't actually change anything. That's wild. It just soaks it in. I don't even know. I guess the plastic's just that dried out. Like I said, I don't know if this is just a sun-faded bumper or if it's just a cheaper aftermarket. It's what I feel like it, but I can't prove that. I may go back down there and see if I can see name brands. This did well earlier. It's literally like you're just spraying clear on it. And then you can see down here, it actually darkens it up. So yeah, my bumper may be shot. That did bleed over a little bit, but I just don't. I'm pretty sure your bumper's gone, long gone at this point. Don't think this is going back to black. Alright, I'm pretty sure I put way too much on all of them, but it's not looking good. See how the fire burned in, if that's focused, I can't tell. And same thing there, it's gone. But once you get down to the lower portions, it's a little better. Let that dry. So now I'm gonna get this piece taped off that's actually black and see what it does to, see what they do to it. Alright, I got everything taped off. Let's see what fire does. I'm pretty sure you can do this on the black stuff. I think it's gonna be a little more tricky, especially these grooves. Yeah, I believe that's got potential. I feel like this rigid piece right here is just going to make it difficult to get down in there. So the heat gun may actually be better for this application. I think if you had the chisel tip that comes with this where you could direct the heat, that would probably be the best. Well, I don't know yet. I'm just saying, to get in there, works good. All right, let's start left to right this time. Pretty sure I got too much. I honestly like this stuff so far. The white stuff is the paint coming off my table. I just found that out. Overspray. Stuff smells pretty good. I'm gonna try to contain this one. This stuff smells amazing too. I don't know how they do it. This and the others, the liquid form. One more time. Back to black. I swear aerosol saves a lot of time. I don't know how long they'll last. We'll see. Alright, so I gotta let this one dry now. See what it does. As always, these tests turn into way more than I was expecting. So, just gonna put the time lapse on and figure out something for these bumpers so we can have results on the actual bumper. Alright, don't make fun of me. I know what's going on. I know it don't look like it, but keep in mind the whole point of the video was the one guy, well, multiple people's comment that the flame job didn't last as long as those. I don't even know how you mentally could think that a product you rub on wouldn't last as basically redoing the process of building plastic. I mean, not the smartest person, but plastic is heat created, so it's basically melted into form. Whatever. So I've numbered everyone on my table, and then across the bumper here, it's just as good of a test as I think needs to be done, but I've numbered every one of them, and then the ones that need wiped off, I'll wipe off. But I was kind of worried somebody'd say something about the heat being on the side right here, being the first one. So actually in the middle, I redid one stripe of it. Other than that, I only did one test of all of them. So I'll show you before I wipe them off. And I'm not brand biased at all. And I've already showed you I use the coverall, but it does seem to do good. So I mean, why would I not use the better stuff? Kind of like that. So the first one is the Burn. Like I said, it doesn't like getting in the cracks, but it makes the best looking product. Number 2 is the aerosol can of Mother's. Not very good. I mean, I sprayed obviously even coat on there. May try another one. That one did okay, and then this is a pretty good bumper. It seemed to do a whole lot better on that. Number 3 is Mother's Rub On. Like I said, I hadn't rubbed nothing off yet. It looks like it maybe is gonna do okay. It's kind of weird looking. Same thing there. I mean, it's pretty good, kind of weird looking, and did a little better on this right here. So all said and done, that might be pretty good. And again, like I said, not brand biased, but that is the same as that, and then that's just the same brand. But the squirt bottle, I mean, it's still got to soak in, but pretty good. Didn't do as good on the colorization of as far as heat goes. 4 here, it's done like in the dead center right there. Looks pretty good. And then 4 on this one looks like showroom floor once the gloss wears off. And then 5 is the aerosol can of it. Pretty good, not as good on the colorization. That looks good if you got a good bumper. And then here again, that just sprays right on. So once again, that's probably the quickest, best so far. That'd be number 6. Can't lie, I'm not too impressed with it so far. See, that's number 6 there. I just don't feel like it's gonna last long. The way it went on just doesn't seem like a good. It did pretty good on a decent bumper here, but everything seems to be doing good on the decent bumper. 7 was that stuff on clearance. Still gotta wipe it off, but I actually quite impressed with it, to be honest. That's looks pretty good on color match. This one looks like it's gonna do pretty good, and then like I said, on the good bumper, yeah, I mean, that's gonna look really good. And I'm again not brand biased. That's number 8. I haven't wiped it off, but that looks horrible, and that's actually 2 or 3 coats. I'm gonna try again. I ain't gonna give up on that. This one, I think I did do another coat on it. I mean, it might clean up. I don't know. And on the good bumper, I mean, it's very streaky looking. Maybe it'll clean up. So I don't know. And then down here was the heat gun. Not too good on that one. So once again, the longevity is probably more what I'm worried about. So get all these, sit outside. I'm not impressed with this stuff right here. That's the Meguiar's. That's the number 1 comment. So far, it's not good, but I'm gonna get all these. Look, again, I'm still impressed with the coverall, and even though I use it, it seems to be compared to fire. But I'm gonna put all these in element. These will just sit outside, wind, rain, see what they do, sunshine, and I'll get those bumpers put on. The other one's gonna sit out with these, and then when I edit this, I'll figure out if I'm gonna do part 2 follow-up or just add a little as I go. I live in Southwest Tennessee, and this is not the usual element, but I reckon they're gonna get it to hang out in snow for the first test. All right, a month later, these things are still sitting here, and I wanted to be very elaborate with the results, so I'm gonna close this video out. Think you're gonna like the results, but if you wanna see, you know what to do. If not, have a good day. Hope you enjoyed and learned something. Still got the bumper on the Jeep, but I can't let you see it.